you need to share this video with as many women as possible, but not just as many women as possible, as many men as possible. Once again, first, fair use, fair use. I don't even know why I was looking at this television show one time, but there was a television show, and there was a couple of nosy white women, nosy white women, that had noticed that there was this van that was sitting in the parking lot for about a week. And so one lady was like, "Hey, Karen, Karen, do you notice that big white van sitting in the lot?" "Well, Joan, yeah, I noticed that too. That van's been out there for a week." I said, "Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, we ought to go check that out. Yeah, girl, let's go check it out." So they went out there to the parking lot, seen this empty big white van. Well, two nosy white women, the two nosy white women were like, "Hey, there's nobody in the van." So they gonna sit up here and break into the van. So, if you know, it will be no black people thinking like that. But anyway, two of these white women, they gonna break into the van. They open up the van is empty. Okay? They open up the sliding door, it's empty. So one of the ladies told Karen, "Hey, Karen, why don't you get in? And let's see if we can hear you yell if you're inside of the van." She's like, "Okay." So she gets into the van. She takes a sliding door and slams the door shut. Now the woman is right outside this big van. Right outside this big van. So she waits a few minutes, and then she opens up the van. She said, "You didn't hear me?" She said, "Hear you? What do you mean hear you?" The woman was in the van yelling and screaming at the top of her lungs. The woman outside, just right outside the door of the van, couldn't hear anything the woman said. That's because whoever had the van had soundproofed the van. Did you hear me? Whoever owned the van had soundproofed the van, and it looked like the back of the van where the sliding door was like a cage. So they literally put that van there to abduct somebody, to kidnap somebody. All right? So the lady told her she was yelling at the top of her lungs and she couldn't hear her. And the woman was just right outside the door, sliding door. So ladies and men, here's something that you need to take in consideration. Very, very important that you need to take consideration. There are a lot of times you'll have a big white van. It don't even have to be a big white van. It could be a big black van. It could be a van of any number of color vans. Or it could be a big truck. But for intensive purposes, we'll talk about the van part. The person will be sitting there waiting for somebody to come next to you, and they'll be parked right next to your car. Now, you come next to your car, you pulling your keys out, trying to figure out what key to put in to unlock your door. And while you sitting up there trying to unlock your door, person slides open the van, grabs you, put their hand around your mouth, and throw you in the van. And they could probably do that in about 30 seconds or less. Probably about 20 seconds or less. Somebody can grab you, snatch you up, throw you in the van, shut that van door, and ain't nobody gonna hear you yelling and screaming, because I just told you the lady was right outside that van. Couldn't hear that woman yelling and screaming inside the van. Just because they made the inside of the van soundproof.